Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another cool pinball repair video for you today. If you've been watching our other videos, we've been working hard and diligently on this Future Spa pinball machine. If you saw the very first video, this thing was destroyed when we got it in. I mean, absolutely destroyed. It looked like it had been in a fire and had been horribly repainted, which we've done a little better job of. But it's had all kinds of issues. It had game board problems. It had smoke all up inside the inside of the back glass, the back box. The back glass was falling apart. None of the boards worked right. So if you haven't been watching, where in the world have you been? You've missed out on so much. But if you look below, I've got a little link where it shows all the other videos that we've done on it so far. So we are on to our next video on it. So on this next video, we have to tackle this huge Playfield. This is a wide body. They may have even referred to these as super wide bodies. Look at this thing. It is thick. Look at the Playfield. It's got crap all over it. And it's all dirty, but it's not really worn. I think this thing's going to clean up pretty good. My main concern is trying to get the hair off this girl's legs. That's the only thing about pinball machines where they've got like people on them. Like if they get all this ball wear on them, we'll leave it alone. But anyway, so I got to clean it all up, and we're going to try to get everything looking good. So the very first thing that I'm going to do is we're going to set up a tripod, and I'm going to film us taking everything off of the Playfield. Then we'll play it back in super high speed like y'all like. Basically, I'm just going to unscrew everything, or not everything, but most of the stuff off the Playfield that needs to be cleaned, and we're going to set it over here on another Playfield glass, not one of these because they're working. By the way, if you're ever working on a game, don't set the stuff on your working game. Put it on another broke one if you're going to do it. I don't ever put it on the floor because it'll people will step on it. But we're going to swap it all around, and look at this little addition that they did. One of the drop targets broke, I guess the first one, so they put the drop target from Playboy in it, which wasn't a bad choice really considering the theme. But yeah, so that's next. So we're going to take all this stuff off, and I should say in this video, I've mentioned it in other ones, but I should say it right at the beginning. Sometimes whenever we do this, we do it with the lights on just so it looks good for the video. If you're doing this at your house, don't leave the lights on, because if you screw up and connect the lights to a solenoid or something, you're going to, or the switch matrix or something, you're going to screw something up on one of the game boards, which we can fix. It's not really that big of a deal to us because we work on them all the time. But if you're a home owner and you're doing it in your house, even if it shorts out, you know, the PIA chip and that does the switch matrix or something like that, it's going to cause you all kinds of trouble trying to track down the chip and figure out, you know, exactly what to put in, and cost you an extra shipping charge and all that. So it's better to do them with the lights off, but we often do them with the lights on just so it looks better for the video. So I'll set up the tripod. We'll work on it a little bit. Oh, and I got something in mind for this. Look at this. It's bad. I mean, the paint's flaking off. It's bad. It's really bad. But I got a solution in mind, so we'll talk about that here later. But the first thing we're going to do, take everything off of the Playfield. Oh, right. We'll let the music fade out. Okay, so this is what we are starting with. Now, if you don't mess with these much, I'll tell you my opinion. My opinion. This thing is in excellent shape, in my opinion. I would use the word excellent. Now, the ball wear on her legs, and I'm not trying to be sexist saying that. I'm just saying, look, it's a half-naked woman. You're seeing her legs, and there's ball wear all over it. It doesn't look right. So we're going to try to get that to look a little better. But that's about it. There's nothing else really on the entire playfield that has even minor problems, you know. I mean, you got, if you want to nitpick, I mean, there's like that little thing there. This is from 1979. The truth is, it probably just wasn't played that much. That's probably the truth. Now, on these games, you can't really tell how much they were played except just, you know, physically checking them out, because there's no meter. The meter was handled by the bookkeeping on the game board, and they are, you know, that battery held that. So as soon as that battery died, you no longer know how many times the game's been played. And that can be reset too, so it could have been reset before then too. So, but yeah, I think it's in fantastic shape. It's filthy. And there's a little bit of stuff here and there, but this is going to clean up great. Imagine this with nice wax on it and shining and the lights glowing off of it. Little something going on there. Maybe, hopefully this won't get much worse when I go to clean it. Now, that's a little bit of wear there. That's not perfect. Little line there and then right there. So hopefully this won't get much worse when I go and hit it with the magic eraser. But I stand by my excellent. I think this looks great. For 1979, it looks fantastic. And it's going to clean up very, very well. So I'm going to hit it with the vacuum. I'm going to take a magic eraser and kind of go at it. Maybe I'll show you when we're doing the leg part a little bit to see if we can get that looking a little better. And the thing with that too is you don't have to get it perfect. Now there's a mylar circle here, so you will see a little different. See how the skin tone is a little different than here, because this is just it's dirtier and it's faded. I guess under the mylar it didn't fade as much, but you see that a lot. But so we don't have to get it perfect. If we can just lighten this up a little bit to where it's not quite so obvious, it'll look great. So yeah, okay. So now that you've seen that, I'm going to show you a little secret. Okay. So while we've been filming this video, we picked up a couple more machines. Now we've got a bunch of pinball machines, but most of them are in storage. We've had them for a while, and every once in a while we bring one in, like, you know, we brought this one in, get it done. But check out what we got just the other day. Look at this. The champ is back. What a great game. But they put the wrong legs on it. Look at this. So we got this one too. Bally Midway X's and O's, which we will be doing a video on as we clean it all up and everything. And then we got Firepower, which is a fantastic game, one of my favorites. But look, they put the wrong legs on it. Now, depending on which game you have, you've got different legs that it needs. So most games take 28.5-inch legs. So that's what these are. And so it comes up a little bit below my waist. I'm 6'1". So this one should be at the same height, but it's lower. I would guesstimate it's 1.5 inches lower, because those are probably 27-inch legs. I wonder if I've got a tape measure. "27-inch legs." I just guessed because there's only about 3 sizes of legs. So these are Gottlieb legs. So the Gottlieb machines with a tall body take 27-inch legs. Bally machines take 28.5-inch legs. And then the Gottliebs that are like wedge heads. See how that's a thinner body? It takes 31-inch legs. But you can see with the right legs on them, all of the lockdown bars should be at about the same height. A little different because of how the little feet are and stuff. But in general, they should be at about the same height. So they put the wrong legs on it, but we'll get it up in the air how it's supposed to be. Back glass is in decent shape, needs a little work. And the Playfield is in good shape. So we'll be doing that one in the future. Look for those videos coming up. But back to Future Spa. So I'll clean it up. We'll start hitting it with the magic eraser. See how clean we can get it. And then there'll be nothing left to do but wax it. So let's see what we can do about those hairy legs. This is what we ended up with. So it leaves the magic eraser leaves this haze all over everything. You can see there's a lot more of it on the bottom of the Playfield because at the top there wasn't all that much wear anywhere, so I didn't have to really go over it with the magic eraser. I was able to just wipe off a lot of the dirt and stuff. You do end up with the ball trail coming up through here, leaves a mark. We've got pretty much all of that gone. Everything cleaned up pretty good. The biggest area that is anything that you would ever even notice was right here on her leg and right here on her leg. All of this pretty much cleaned up. This still has a little bit of wear on it, but I believe it's going to clean up and wax up really nice. So we will see, right? So next step is I'm going to wipe all of the haze off, which you can do just, basically just use a 409 or Windex or anything like that. But you don't want to spray anything right on the Playfield because it'll you don't really want the water to soak into the wood. But we're going to wipe it down with a damp towel, get it all cleaned up, and then we're going to wax. It is really starting to come together. Look at it. It's so beautiful. Now look when the light hits it. This is the best part after you fix one. Look at this. I think I got a pretty good little shot in there earlier of taking the haze off the wax. Man, that's like really cool whenever you do that. So there was a couple things I forgot to mention earlier. I forgot to talk about the magic eraser. So there is a product called Magic Eraser. If you already know all this, just ignore the pedantic nature of this next part of the video. But there is this product called Magic Eraser that is basically a really small foam. Let's see if I've got one here. So basically it's a piece of foam that's really, it has really tiny fibers. So basically it's like sandpaper, very light sandpaper, like 2000 grit sandpaper or something like that. Or it has basically the same effect of it. So people figured out a while back that it's really effective at cleaning up playfields, because the problem that you run into, and again, look how this turned out. From up here it looks good. Now if I get real close to this, it's going to look bad because I'm amplifying it and you're really close to it. But just keep in mind, this is where you're playing from. It looks fine. It looks great. Right? And if the light hits it, it looks great. See? But if you get close, some of that ball wear is still there. And the reason that is called ball wear, see how it's all little circular. See how it's a little circular. Yeah, there you go. See it? Those are little tiny cracks that are in the paint that the ball, the sphere of the ball has ground all those into. And they're everywhere. It's just you can see them really good because it's a skin tone. It's really light. And then, again, I'm not trying to be sexist, but if you've got a playfield with a naked woman on it, that's the first thing anybody that walks up to it's going to look at, whether you're 5 or 80. You know what I mean? So my whole point is that's the first thing you're going to look at is this naked, half-naked woman on the playfield. So any kind of wear there, it really shows, and it doesn't look very good. But it doesn't have to be perfect. So as you can see, it looks pretty good, even though it still has the wear there. So why didn't I take all of it off by keep going with this Magic Eraser? It's because it's sandpaper. So if I kept going, it would literally rub it down to bare wood. So I went as far as I could, and the paint was just starting to come apart. If you look, it's hard to see. See how it's a little lighter right there? I was starting to lose paint just barely. So I stopped. That was as good as I could get it. So this stuff is great, but you can just use it a little bit. You can't go crazy with it. And it cleaned it up really well. Now, most people, they wouldn't even notice that because it looks really good. So I think it came out pretty good. But just don't, if you use it, just don't go crazy with it. If you go nuts on it, it's gonna you're going to regret it, because there's really, once that's worn away, you'll never get it back. You can touch it up like we've done before, but. And then the other thing is, two things. Remember I was saying I thought it was in excellent condition. So there is a little bit of wear here. If you let the light hit it, you can see it better. See the wear there? And that's right there, right by the girl's leg where you're looking. And then up here, there was a little bit of wear here. And there was a little bit of wear here. And basically what's happened there is that the Playfield, if you look, see that crack in the Playfield? This is plywood, and the wood has splintered a little bit. So there's vertical cracks in the Playfield here and there. Some people, that kind of stuff drives them crazy. Me personally, this is a 1979 vintage pinball machine. The rest of it's not perfect. We've already went over that in the previous videos. To me, I think it may even make the game look better to have just a little tiny bit of wear. Now, if there was a big old spot where all the paint's gone, of course. If we couldn't clean up her legs any better than it just looked disgusting, of course. So, you know, it would really hurt the game. But just a little bit of wear here and there, it just makes it look more vintage, makes it look more, you know, it's 40 years old. And it looks 40 years old. So, yeah, I really like it. I think it's coming out really well. So the next thing, we've got to put everything back on the Playfield, and then we've got to test play it a little bit. But I think we're getting there. I think it's starting to look pretty good. Everything wanted to cooperate. I fixed a few of the sockets before we started tearing it apart, just so that it would look good for the video. So all of the lights are working. Everything's doing its thing. As you saw in the video, I put in the new bulbs, and when I did, a couple of them are dim, twist the socket a little bit, they brightened right up. I've got this drop target here. The front one is supposed to be a star, just like the other ones, but it's a little Playboy bunny. I think I'm just going to leave it, because it, you know, isn't that kind of the appropriate one for this theme, right? I ordered a new one. It's inside, but I've got a replacement star one, but the more I think about it, I mean, why replace it? Somebody made that choice a long time ago, and it fits the theme of the game, so I think we'll just leave the Playboy bunny on it. So we're getting there. All right, so I think it's came a long way. If you remember from the very first video, this thing was smoke damaged. It looked like crap, right? So to combat that, we cleaned up the cabinet a little bit. We're getting the Playfield really nice now. We fixed up our back glass that had big chunks flaking off of it to where it looks very presentable. The back box had been repainted, so we repainted it back the right color. We didn't get the design on it that it had on it originally, but we did get it the right color. Pretty good match, right? And it looks nice and clean. You've seen the inside. We got the inside all nice and clean. So I think we might have saved this one, right? Look at the sheen on that. That's awesome. All right, so let's put it all back together. So we got everything replaced and put back on it. It's looking pretty good, y'all. Okay, so we have one major problem left with a simple solution. So the apron was destroyed. You saw that, right? All the paint's flaking off and everything. So there are two ways you can fix that problem. They make decals. So you can sand that all down, repaint it, and then put a new decal on the top of it. If you watch one of our Gottlieb videos that we did a while back, we did that on, I can't remember which one that was. Oh, it was the Lariat. If you go look at the Lariat pinball that we did, we put a new decal on the apron that ended up looking really good. So you can do that. So we could sand that all down and repaint it the base color, which is like a burgundy, and then put a decal on it. And Pinball Rescue makes those decals, I think. So we could do that, and maybe we will in the future, but that's not what we're going to do on this one. What we're going to do on this one is we're going to replace it with this one. So I believe this is off of a Space Invaders. There were only about 5 of these big, super wide body pinball machines that Bally made in that time era, and I guess they all had different aprons. So this one's pretty rough, but this one's pretty nice. Check it out. Pretty nice. Not perfect, but nice enough for this machine. And I think the color scheme will even kind of work because it's basically just black. So we'll try bolting that on, and then there's not much left, folks. Mounted the apron on. I kind of like it. What do you think? I think it looks just fine. You'd never know. You would never know that that's the wrong apron. And look, I got to put my yellow flipper rubbers on it like I like. I get so sick of them all being red. So these ones get to be yellow, because on the flyer they were yellow. I would never put yellow ones on a red one or red ones on a yellow one. You got to go by the flyer. So yeah, I think it came out pretty good. Everything looks good. So the only thing we have left to do, well, we've got a few things left to do. I have to replace the plungers on the flippers. I might adjust them a little bit. We still got to clean it up a little bit, get it looking a little more presentable. We've got locks to put on it on the front and on the back. We've got to put the glass, clean the glass and put it back on it. Got to test everything, make sure everything works right. And then we have to play it. And like always, we'll definitely film us playing it. But this video is getting pretty long, so we'll wait till next time. Let's see if it'll start though. Look at this. I thought I had a light bulb out. Just touching it made the light bulb come back on. This video is getting pretty long, so we'll wait till next time. Let's see if it'll start though. Look at this. I thought I had a light bulb out. Just touching it made the light bulb come back on. Look at this, I wounded myself. Let's see if she'll do anything. It's trying. Let's see if the flippers work. They do. I bet the pop bumpers don't work though. Oh, they do. It's all looking pretty good. I literally haven't even tried it yet. Woo, boy, it's got some action. I think we're looking pretty good here, people. Let's see if our drops will reset. Well, if I can hit it. All right. Oh, and I'll hit the spinner. We got to get a good spinner shot. Whoops. There we go. All right, what a cool little game. This thing's going to be pretty awesome. We got our saucers, the last thing we got to check. All right. It's a very cool game. I like it a lot. Oh, we got to check our kicker for our ball save. Man, it's trying to cooperate. Check it out. All right, so we'll do another video after we get it all cleaned up and everything ready, and of us playing it. Now, if you're watching this video, then we've already shot that video, because I don't upload stuff when we're halfway done. If I'm uploading like repair videos, it's because I've already fixed it and everything's done. Why would I upload it if we never finish it? That wouldn't work out very good. Y'all would all think that I'm a hack. If you don't already. All right, so leave your comments below. Let us know what you think so far. If you've been watching from the very beginning, I think you would agree with us that this is we've done pretty good here for saving one, you know. So give us a thumbs up for taking the trouble to film it for you. Look out for that next video, and leave your comments below. Let us know what you think. We will see you on the next one. Future Spa.